where Krishna starts speaking in Bhagavad Gita. First words. So here Krishna is speaking. Ashochananda sochasvam prajnavadam cha bhashate datasuna datasumcha nanu shochanti panditaham. See Bhagavan what? So what Krishna is telling, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grace. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So Krishna in one sense chastising Arjuna. Now Krishna right now he is lamenting for those who are living in front of him in the form of Duryodhana and party, and they are going to be dying in the future. So Krishna intelligently using words. One who is dead, you are not supposed to lament, nor for the living also you are not supposed to lament. So basically you are not wise. You are lamenting for one of them. So both you are not wise. That's telling. So wise lament neither for living nor for the dead. So you are going to tell the reason why. So Lord says, you while lamenting for which what is not worthy of lamentation, speaking the words of wisdom, thinking that you know so much of wisdom, you are wise. So but still you are lamenting. The wise men do not lament for the gross body or the subtle body. Mother Devan also translating almost saying, lamenting for what is not worthy of lamentation, speaking the words of wisdom. Wise do not lament for those gross bodies and subtle bodies, for the souls. So souls are actually out of question, and they are not affected by anything externally on the material world. So Krishna is speaking the very, very intelligent, wisdom-giving words to us. Okay, purport. The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly fool. Fool, he called. Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned and knows what is body and what is soul does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. As explained in the later chapters, it will be clear that the knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the control of both. Arjuna argued that the religious principles should not be given more importance than the politics and sociology should be given. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than the politics and astrology, sociology. But he did not know that the knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is even more important than the religious formula. And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born of destined to be vanquished tomorrow or today. Therefore, the body is not important as the soul, not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned. And for him, there is no cause of lamentation regardless of the condition of the material body. That's why. So the soul is more important than the body. So that's how the spiritual life is solely dedicated at actually benefiting the soul. Arjuna, yeah. Okay, right.
Oh Arjuna, this lamentation of yours caused by attachment to friends and relatives is the cause of bewilderment. Your power of discernment arising from your concern, starting in verse 4 with how can I fight against Bhishma and Drona, are the cause of lack of wisdom. That is stated in the verse. You are continually lamenting, Anustocha, for what is not worthy of grief. Thus you are uttering words of wisdom to me who am trying to enlighten you. You speak words of wisdom as in verse 4. The intention behind the Lord's words is the opposite. Actually, you have no wisdom. This is because those who are wise do not lament for the gross bodies from which life has passed, since the bodies are indestructible by their very nature. Neither do they lament for the subtle bodies for which the life airs have not passed? Note, the life airs go with Agathas. The life air goes with the subtle body after death and enters a new body along with the subtle body at birth. Vishwanath has taken as Asu literally as the life air and Agathasun as those bodies from which the life airs do not depart, the subtle bodies. If we were to take Agathasan as meaning the gross body from which the life air has not yet departed, then there would be no reason for even the fool to lament for it. For those subtle bodies will certainly be destroyed before liberation. They do not lament because they accept the inherent natures of all gross and subtle bodies, but fools lament when life airs pass from one gross bodies of fathers and others and do not generally understand about the subtle body. Enough of such fools. All these, including Bhishma, are souls equipped with gross and subtle bodies. Because of eternal nature of their souls, there is no cause for lamentation. Previously, you said that Dharma Shastra was stronger than Artha Shastra, but I say that Jnana Shastra is stronger than Dharma Shastra.
Here the Shastras, Arjuna is standing from one platform, is speaking from Artha Shastra, is speaking of from the profit loss platform, which gross materialistic fools think that I gain and you lose, that kind of thing. So he's taking from Dharma Shastra. So Dharma Shastra, which says no, it is not Dharma. So then there is Jnana Shastra, which is higher than even Dharma Shastra. So Krishna is speaking on the platform of Jnana Shastra, which is higher even to what Dharma, what Arjuna is speaking. So here, Agathasun, from which life airs are not passed, that is, he's speaking about subtle body, gross body and subtle body. Whereas the literal meaning goes like this, for which people are living and dead, whatever. So from any point of view, so Arjuna is lamenting for both of them doesn't fit.
As Arjuna stood silently, the Lord began deriding his intelligence. O Arjuna, you are lamenting for the sons of Dhritarashtra who are not even worthy of lamentation. And you speak words supposedly from wise people such as seeing my relatives and friends gathered for fighting, my limbs are weakening, and how can I fight those worthy of worship? But you do not have even a drop of wisdom. Those who are wise do not lament for the gross bodies from which the life airs has departed, nor for the subtle bodies from which the life airs have not departed. The life airs go with the subtle body after death. The life airs and the subtle body separate from the gross body at death, nor for the souls, indicated by the word cha. This is the meaning. Is lamentation caused by the destruction of the gross body or the destruction of the subtle body? There should be no lamentation because the destruction of the gross bodies is inevitable due to their nature. There should be no lamentation for the destruction of the subtle body since it is indestructible until liberation. There should be no lamentation for the soul because it is devoid of exchanges and is eternal. There should be no cause at all of lamentation for those who know the nature of the body and the soul. It has been said that there is predominance of Dharma Shastra over Artha Shastra. That may be so, but the Dharma Shastra is refused by the stronger Jnana Shastra. The mistake of thinking things are worthy of lamentation which are not worthy of lamentation is the quality of a fool. This is not suitable to you, who are not.
Yeah, there is Baldev is also stressing the same point that Agathasun means when they are living, the life airs are with the gross body. Gathasun means life airs have gone with subtle body. So anyway, subtle body is not harmed till the time you get liberated. So Baladev mentioning this point. So till the time they get, of course, there also the same point came. Almost they are in the same line. They are speaking that so till the liberation, anyway, the subtle body is also not going to get distracted, and the soul is anyway not going to get distracted. So from that Jnana Shastra point of view, Arjuna is spoken as you are thinking that you are wise, but you are a fool. Number one. So that's what Arjuna is spoken by Krishna. The first words he spoke of the fool only. Actually, Shastra is Arjuna. We'll go ahead. Natevaham jatunasum svam me janatipa achaivana bhavishyamah sarve vayamatah param. So start speaking Sankhya now, the knowledge of the soul. Never was there a time then I do not exist, I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So first installment of knowledge again. It is not that I, you, these things did not exist, nor in the future, they will not exist. So same translation of Baldev also. Purpose.
In the Vedas, in the Katha Upanishad as well as in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities in terms of their different situations according to individual work and reaction of work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is also, by his plenary portions, alive in the heart of every living entity. Only saintly persons who can see within and without the same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. Nityo Nityanam Chetana Chetananam Eko Bhavnam Yo Vedati Kaman Samatmastam Ye Pasyanti Dhiras Tesham Shanti Shashwati Netaresham. The same Vedic truth given to Arjuna is given to all persons in the world who pose themselves as very learned but actually have but a poor fund of knowledge. The Lord says clearly that he himself, Arjuna, and all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are eternally individual beings, and that the Lord is eternally the maintainer of individual living entities, both in their conditioned and their liberated situations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a supreme individual person, and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal associate, and all the kings assembled there are individual eternal persons. It is not that they did not exist as individuals in the past, and it is not that they will not remain eternal persons. Their individuality existed in the past, and their individuality will continue in the future without interruption. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. The Mayavadi theory that after liberation, the individual, so separated by the coverings of Maya or illusion, will merge into the impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence is not supported herein by Lord Krishna, the supreme authority. Nor is the theory that we only think of individuality in the conditioned state and supported herein. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also the individuality of the Lord and others, as it is confirmed in the Upanishads, will continue eternally. This statement of Krishna is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subject to illusion. If individuality were not a fact, then Krishna would not have structured it so much even for the future. The Mayavadi may agree that the individuality... The Mayavadi may argue that individuality spoken of by Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting the argument that the individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future also. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways, and impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained spiritual individuality all along. If he is accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. A common man with all four defects of human frailty is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. The Gita is above such literature. No mundane unable to teach the mundane book compares with the Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man, the Gita loses all importance. The Mayavadi argues that the plurality mentioned in this verse is conventional and that it refers to the body. But previous to this verse, such a bodily conception is already condemned. After condemning the bodily conception of the living entities, how was it possible for Krishna to place a conventional proposition on the body again? Therefore, individuality is maintained on spiritual grounds and is thus confirmed with a great acharyas like Sri Ramanujacharya and others. It is clearly mentioned in many places in the Gita that this spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of the Lord. Those who are envious of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead have no bona fide access to the great literature. The non-devotee's approach to the teachings of Gita is something like that of a bee licking on a bottle of honey. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by the devotees, and no one else can taste it, as it is stated in the 4th chapter of the book. Nor can the Gita be touched by persons who envy the very existence of the Lord. Therefore, the Mayavada explanation of the Gita is the most misleading presentation of the whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentations made by the Mayavadis and warns that one who takes to such an understanding of Mayavad philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of the Gita. If individuality refers to the empirical universe, then there is no need of teaching by the Lord. The plurality of individual soul and the Lord is an eternal fact, and it is confirmed by the Vedas as above mentioned.
The classical purport, where Prabhupada is mentioning completely defeating Mayavadis with one verse. Many arguments Prabhupada gave. Beginning he gave, the first thing he gave that in the future also the living entities are going to be there. The Lord is going to be there and living entities are going to be there in the future also. First thing. Then he said, if at all, Mayavadis, they argue like that, the individuality is pertaining to the body. Krishna is individual, and actually he is going to remain in the future also. He said that anyway. Third, he said that if at all, if Krishna is speaking about bodies, why Gata Suna, Agata Suna he is speaking. Neither subtle body, nor the gross body, you should lament for. The soul anyway, you need not to lament. Now, third argument is this. Now, after third argument, now Krishna Prabhupada is very, very clearly saying that individuality is not spiritual material, okay. So, okay. The individuality maintained on the spiritual ground that confirmed by great acharyas. Okay. Now he's quoting from an acharyas accepted it. And those who are envious of Krishna, Prabhupada is going to the root. Why this kind of envy? Why they actually possibly speak about this coming together? This is because of envying Krishna. They envy Krishna. That's why they want to remove the existence of Krishna. That's a problem. So very powerfully, Prabhupada is defeating Maya. The first was spoken by Sankhya. With the Sankhya philosophy itself, Prabhupada is even quoting that Brahmano hi pratishtha. I am the base of the Brahmana. Krishna is an individual. Okay, shall I Prabhupada quickly will see? Now, friend, I'll ask you a question. When you see the death of the person you love, you lament. But object of affection while the person in the world, the soul of the body. Shukadeva says that the soul is the most dear to all living beings. Sarvesham eva bhutanam drupa swatmaiva vallabha. The soul is the object of affection. The soul should not be the object of affection because it cannot suffer death. Since both types of Atma, the Jiva and Ishvara, are eternal. With this intention, it speaks these words. It is not that I, Paramatma, the Paramatma, have ever not been in existence, but rather I have always existed. You also, and Jivatma have also always existed. The kings also, Jivatmas, have always existed. Here the Lord shows the previous non-existence is absent for the soul. The Praga Bhava. Where it is spoken, Praga Bhava? No, no. And it is not that I, you, that all these things, Sarve Vayam will not exist. Rather, will exist, will certainly exist. Here, soul is devoid of destruction. Dvamsa. Okay. By this, conclude that since Paramatma and the Jiva are both eternal, there is no cause for that. The Shruti says, he is the chief eternal among all eternal. The chief conscious entity among all conscious entities. The one fulfills the needs of all others. This is Satsandra Upanishad. Now this is bigger purport, what Baldev will see. Tomorrow we'll see this purport. So, but these are very important purports where Prabhupada is fully defeating Mayavad philosophy. So, Mayavad philosophy we need to clearly understand because it is coming in Parampara. It is said that when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he used to walk in the street, the Mayavadis, they used to run away from other side only. Prabhupada also took the same mood as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and gave such a powerful argument against Mayavad and Prabhupada and all the current acharyas also. So this is the most important time where Mayavad should be actually addressed properly because every nook and corner, anywhere we see some or the other, people have the tendencies of Mayavad. So Prabhupada being the visionary for the next 10,000 years, Mayavad is spread all over everywhere. Prabhupada practically, wherever there is opportunity, completely defeats Mayavad. Including the Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur also defeating, Baldev Devotion is defeating, is going to defeat. So let us clearly understand the mood and mission of the Acharyas or Sampradaya. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.